Here we are now. I am watching a crime show right now. Let's do this debate time. We're going live. Alrighty. YouTube, I made a reminder about this. I hope it's not going too bad. Because I will freaking hate it if that were to happen. I will freaking hate it if that were to happen. Alright, it's good. Alrighty. Presidential debate. Hopefully my mic will not um interfere with the debate itself, man. And R.I.P. Boogie. I hope he recovers. All right, here's the feed now. Here's the feed. Yep, my the the hell is this? Why did I just see a couple of fucking comments in damn Chinese? Yeah, this is big. I'm at the channel. I'm at the man's channel himself. Look at that shit. I'm at his channel. Who the fuck is this? We repost if swag. Are these like Chinese? Chinese or Vietnamese? I got repost if swag. The fuck is this? I don't know what the hell going on here, but I don't really care about that. I'm focusing more on this. Oh shit, then I can't actually see if any errors. None so far. I'm actually glad that's true already. Twitch me. Eh, eh. All right, it's good. It's all good. 8 o'clock. I'm not wearing any pajamas right now. I'm actually still in my high chat. Yeah, you better fucking high chat, dude. It starts. It starts right now. I'm gonna reload it and see if I miss like the first 30 seconds of it. Nope, I'm good. I'm good. Alrighty. Presidential debate 2020, Tuesday, September 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, of course. Text vote to 88022. And you got Stocks down here. Or is that Cheryl, Brenda? No, those are actual towns, I think. Numbers. Here we go. Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Am I loud enough? Okay, they don't got any sound yet. My volume is at good volume. Alrighty. Hey guys, volume, guys, volume, quality. Okay, the quality is a bit better. Guys, guys, you, dude, sound, man, sound. Boy, no sound. The caps lock on. Just type in sound. Sound. We need that. No, not 2022. Crap. Sound 2020. We need sound more than ever. C span. We require the sound. You guys, motherfucker like me, just going in there, man. Dude, sound. The audio is not working. The internet is brokenness. All lives matter. Come on, buddy. Put in the sound. Your audio card is missing. Please put in another Nintendo DS cartridge. I know I spelled that wrong, but it's good. Hey, I'm with the man himself. I'm with Donald. But guys, please, is my mic fucking interfering with this shit? Because I hope it's not. For the love of God, I hope it's not. Yeah, it's just silence. What if it's just my damn voice in the entire place and they're just hearing how dumb I am? Bruh. Pog. Yo, we got Redditors from here. Hello from Wuhan, China. Damn, China be sleeping in. This dude's sleeping. Yo. Biden is sleep. He don't woke up. Here we go. Uh, sound. Sound. Can you guys hear me? Is that a damn teleprompter back there? Oh no, wait, it's for him. Joe Biden, like's just gonna look over there and he's just gonna be like, oh shit, I told him to put it in the front. He smiled. He smiled. Look at that little spark on him. He's just like, yep. I'll fucking know what I'm smiling about. No sound. No sound. Listening on radio for sound. Wait.
Good evening from the health
Yay! Oh no, I paused.
University and the Cleveland Clinic. Campus of Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic. I'm Chris Wallace of Fox News, and I welcome you to the first of the 2020 presidential debates between President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden.
All right, the desktop audio is good.
By the Commission on Presidential Debates. The commission has designed the format of 6 roughly 15-minute segments with 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion.
I gotta make sure that the desktop audio itself is good enough, and I pressed the freaking no
discussion for the rest. Protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic, which is serving as
all right. Hopefully this is good enough.
To the commission for all
going to be going to Twitch now, seeing if it's good. Twitch. I'll be doing Fortnite stream later.
The audience here in the hall has
I'll be doing Fortnite stream later.
No cheers. The audience here in the hall has
I'll be doing Fortnite stream later.
No cheers.
Alrighty. Crap, I muted.
No noise except right
now. Let's go.
As we welcome the Republican
Chris
nominee,
Wallace.
President Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Vice President Biden.
Yo, here he come. Who coming first? Yo, the man himself, the king of the chair, and Bobby Shmurda.
How you doing, man?
Man, this is actually happening right now as we speak, man. At 9 p.m. At 9 p.m. Right.
Gentlemen, a
Dude,
lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get
the
going. Our
Union and the
first subject is the
Constitution
Supreme
forever.
Court. President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth
It's
Bader
all led
Ginsburg
down to
on the
this. We got
court.
at least like
You
two
say
more
the
to go.
Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President
I got the
Biden, you
TV down
say
low,
that this
so
is an
we ain't
effort
gonna
by
be
the
able to hear it.
president and Republicans to jam through in an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you
Joe
tonight,
Biden
why
probably
are
has
you right
papers
in
down there,
the
so there
argument
ain't
you
no
make
worry for
and
him.
your opponent wrong?
Same for
And
Trump.
where do you think
But Trump
a
can make up his
Justice
own words in
Barrett
his head
would
right
take the
there. All
court?
right, he's smart
President
boy.
Trump, in this first segment, you go
That
first. 2
is
minutes.
the
Thank you very much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way, In fact, some of her biggest endorsers are very liberal people
I've never
from
been
Notre Dame
this
and other
much into
places. So I think
politics,
she's
but
going to be
this can
fantastic.
explain
We have
how
plenty of
fucking
time.
much I
Even if we
am,
did it after the election
dude.
itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be outstanding. She's going to be as good as anybody that has served on that court. We really feel that. We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly
She
respected.
good.
They all said she's the single greatest
She good. That's
student
all we
he's ever
gotta
had.
know.
He's
And all
been a
that other
professor
people
for a
gotta
long
know
time
is
at a great
that
school.
they can't hear my
And
voice, because if they
we won the
did, they would
election, and
just
therefore we
this
have the
boy
right
just
to choose her.
looking
And
up,
very few
just saying
people
shut the
knowingly
hell up
would
or
say
whatever.
otherwise. And by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think
Be
about not
embarrassed.
doing it. If
They'll
they
be
had the only
fine.
difference is they're trying to do it faster. There's no way they would give it up. They had Merrick Garland, but the problem is
And
they
he's
didn't have the
happy.
election, so they were stopped. And probably that would
He
happen in
happy,
reverse
boy.
also.
He's that.
Definitely would happen in reverse.
Hey,
So we won the election, and
gay
we have the right to
shark.
do it, Chris.
President Trump, thank you. Same question to you, Vice President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this and looking forward to this. Mr.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is, and that say occurs when they vote for a
I'm just
United
gonna
States
put my
senator
mouse
and when they vote for the
around his
President of the
head.
United States.
I'm just gonna do it with every
They're
single
not
head
going
I
to
see.
get that
Oh
chance
shit,
now
2
because
heads
we're in
now.
the
What the
middle of an election
fuck?
already.
Okay.
The election has already started. Tens of
I'm
thousands of people have
spit.
already voted. And so the thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is, because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect. Now, what's at stake here is the president's made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. He's been running on that, he ran on that, and he has been governing on that. He's in the Supreme Court
I'm
right
about to
now
just
trying to get
freaking
rid
mute the TV.
of the Affordable Care Act,
Uh-oh,
which will
everything's
strip
starting to
20
break.
million people from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court, and the justice, and I'm not opposed to the justice. She seems like a very fine person, but she's written before she went on the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. The other thing that's on the court, and if it's struck down, what happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again, a woman could be pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man gets. And that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions, and they'll be taken away as well. Those pre-existing conditions, the insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before
How long
this
is 2
election.
minutes?
If he wins the
That's the
election,
dumbest
and the
thing I've
Senate
ever
is
said,
Democrat or
man.
Republican, then he goes forward. If not, we should wait until
Donald
February.
Trump only
There are
has
100 million people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say. Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, At some point,
Why does Trump
10
have
years ago or so,
he has
she
he
said
has
the
a suit
president and the Senate
and the
is
little
elected
American
for a
flag
period of
emblem on
time. The
there. But look
president's
at
elected
Biden.
for 4
Biden
years. We're
has the
not
same
elected
kind
for
of
3
deal
years. I'm
going
not
on.
elected
He
for
has
3
like
years.
this little wave
So we
thing
have the
down
Senate,
here.
we have a president.
He's elected to the next
During
election.
that period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years.
The
And the
election's
100
already
million
started.
people, Joe, the 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish
Just smile away, just
180
like,
million
what the
people
fuck this
with
dude
their
talking
private
about,
health care,
cuz?
that they're very
That's
Oh, no.
certainly not true.
Well, you're certainly
knows
going
that.
to socialist.
Go
You're
ahead.
going to
This
socialist
is,
medicine.
we're now into, gentlemen, we're now into open discussion.
Open discussion.
Open discussion. Yes, I agree.
Open
Go ahead, Vice President.
discussion. I need
He,
donut.
he knows that what I proposed.
Dude, I'm
What
gonna
I
enjoy
proposed is
every
that,
single last
we
second of
expand
this. I don't
Obamacare
care if I
and
starve.
we increase it. We
How would
do
I
not
starve when
let
this stuff will
and
end at like
one of the big
9:30,
debates
man?
we
This is
had
gonna be
with
like
23
an hour and a
of my
half stream,
colleagues
man.
trying to win the nomination that I won. We're saying
Huh?
that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still.
And you
can. They do. They
motherfucker
will,
fucking
under my
get
proposal.
off
Not what you've said.
anything.
It's not what
That
your
is-
party has said.
that is simply
Your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your party
is
wants to
simple.
go socialist
My
medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
Right
healthcare.
now, I am
And
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am
Hey,
the Democratic Party right now. The platform
people
of the
understand
Democratic
this is
Party
a
is
very
what I,
political
in
stream
fact,
going on right
approved of,
here.
what I approved of.
A very
Now, here's the deal.
conservative.
The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing
I
conditions.
just
By the
I
way,
just heard him
the
do that.
200 million,
I can get
200,000
serious, but then
people that have
something
died on
as
his
little
watch,
and as dumb as a
There-
fucking
how
puff
many
to a
of those
microphone will
have
just do that.
survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them
7
going forward if
million
you strike
people
down
who've
the Affordable
contracted
Care Act?
COVID.
Joe, you've had
Pre-existing conditions.
308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me
I'm
about
happy
this.
to talk about
And
this.
if you were here,
Look,
it
here's
wouldn't
the
be
deal.
200. It would be 2
Crop
million
his face
people
out,
because
just
you
put
were
it on
very
Bobby
late on the draw.
Shmurda's.
You
Late
didn't
on
want
the
me to
draw.
ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban
All right, gentlemen,
Europe, which
no,
was heavily
Mr.
infected.
President,
John Mueller,
Mr.
whatever the hell your
President,
name
about
is,
2 million
shut
people.
the
You're
fuck
not
up.
gonna
President, as a
shut him up.
moderator,
Shut the fuck up.
we are going
This
to talk
is a
about COVID in the
debate.
next segment.
We
but
debate.
Go ahead.
We
Let
don't
me
let you shut
finish.
us up,
The
all right?
point
We
is
talk
that
like
the
men.
president also
We
is
fight
opposed to
like
Roe v.
men.
Wade. That's on the ballot as well.
Play
in the
some
court. In
more.
the court. So that's
Wait, I
also
can
at
actually
stake
play that
right
right now.
now.
I got my phone
And
with me.
so the election is all.
You
We
don't know
fight
what's on the
like
ballot.
men.
Why is it on the ballot?
Because
Why is it
you
on the
said
ballot? It's not on the ballot.
it's
I
on the
watch
ballot in
too
the
many
court,
cooks.
in the court. Well,
There's nothing happening there.
Fight
would
And
you
you
like
don't know
men.
her view on Roe v. Wade. You
I
don't know
don't
her
know.
view.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen. We got a lot of time. So, on health care, and then we'll come back to Roe v. Wade. All right, Mr. President, the Supreme Court will hear
And
a
heavy dead.
case a week after the election in which the Trump
Just to
administration,
say
along
this
with
right now,
18
I don't
state
know if that
attorneys
was loud
general,
enough,
are
but
seeking to overturn
That's right.
Obamacare, to
you
end
know,
Obamacare.
this
You have
mic
spent the
ain't
last-
connected.
Because they want to give
Whenever I
healthcare.
connect to my
If I may
Xbox
ask, go ahead,
controller,
question,
it always like
Over,
brings back
the
feedback
last
of my
4
own
years, you
voice,
have
and that's
promised
good.
to repeal and replace
But
Obamacare,
in my
but
computer,
you
you
have
know,
never
it's
in these 4
just
years
it
come up
goes
with
a go.
plan, a comprehensive plan
Yes,
to
I have.
replace
I have
Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well, I'll
I
give
got
you
rid
an
of
op-
the
I'm gonna-
individual
when I finish, I'm
mandate.
going to give you an
Excuse me.
opportunity.
I got rid of the individual mandate.
This
which
boy
was
know
a
what
big
he
deal.
talking about, all right?
That
Let's
is
get that
absolutely a
decent.
big thing. That was the
I
worst
didn't
part of
ask
Fucking his
you,
image
sir.
of-
Chris,
You're
that was the
debating him,
worst
not
part of
me.
Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The
no.
individual
Dude,
mandate was the
he's
most
just
unpopular
backfiring
aspect of
on
Obamacare.
this
Mr.
guy,
President,
man.
I'd
This
like
guy
to
was just like,
protect
okay,
people
President,
with
I'm the
talk with
moderator of
Donald
this
Trump would
debate,
be like
and I
talking to
would
any
like you
other
to let me
presidential
ask my
candidate,
question,
all
and then
right?
you can answer
Go
yours.
ahead.
Dude, I'm sad that
You,
Joe
in the
Rogan
course of these
didn't
4
get to
years, have
like
never come up with a
premiere
comprehensive
this
plan
debate, man.
to replace Obamacare, and
I'm sad.
just
That'll
this
be
last
freaking neat.
Thursday,
Joe Rogan, he
you
do a talk
signed
show,
a
but
largely
he needs to
symbolic
get
executive
involved in
order
something a little
to
bit
protect
bigger.
people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Fine. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something. There's nothing symbolic. I'm cutting
I'm
drug prices. I'm
guessing
going
I'm
with favored
debating
nations, which
you
no
and
president has
not
the courage
him.
to do because you're going against big pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting health care.
What about
All of the
pre-existing
things that
conditions?
we've done,
He has not cut
insulin.
health
I give
care.
you an example. Insulin. it was destroying families, destroying people. The cost, I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water, you want to know the truth. So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs what we're doing, prescription drug prices.
Water.
We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because
When in
they
fact-
pay just a tiny
As
fraction.
I say,
of
this
what
is
we do.
open discussion.
No,
Let
but
me
this
ask
is
you about,
big.
you'll
This
be
is
happy,
big stuff.
sir. You'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out. that
Yeah,
you
he
would like
just
to
vice
add a
president though.
public
Look at him.
option to Obamacare.
Pixelated
The
freaking.
argument that he makes, and other Republicans
Where's
make,
Waldo?
is that is
I
going
ain't
to
got no
end private
idea.
insurance.
It is
and
not.
will, if I can
sorry.
ask you the question, it will
Not what your
end.
party says, by the way.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free in most states, except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would.
You wanna know the truth,
excuse me,
Joe?
Medicaid would automatically. Be
I'm actually
enrolled in
surprised
the public
he's
option.
that he's actually
The
made it
vast
this far.
majority
He
of the
has
American people would
papers.
still not be in that option. Number one.
Joe,
This
you
might not
agreed
go the
with
way
Bernie Sanders
I-
and
I-
we'll
far
have
left
it go.
on the manifesto,
When
we
you-
call it,
when
and that
manifest-
gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
you
I'm
saying
not
you
going to
didn't
listen to
agree?
him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm
Not
here.
by
I'm here
much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2 days
I tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to
With
make
what?
sure because
With what?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything
Yo,
he's saying
Joe
so far
Biden.
is simply a lie.
Joe,
I'm
you're
not here to call
you
out his lies.
freaking
Everybody
won
knows
against
he's a liar.
everybody.
I just
Please,
wanna
Please, you're the
make
same
sure- I-
face
I wanna
4
make
years
sure-
ago that
Voted
you
last
are
night,
now.
last night, first in your place.
All right, Bernie
I wanna
freaking
make
left
sure-
because
Can
you're
you
a
let him finish?
surgeon and
He
huge
doesn't know how to do
popular.
that.
That's true.
He
That's
has-
true.
You'd
You
be
know,
surprised.
you
I might
picked
just
the
let these.
wrong
I might
guy,
just
the
let
wrong
this
night,
go
the wrong
on.
time.
Listen, you
Be
agreed
honest
with
with
Bernie
you.
Sanders. to the
Just do like a
manifesto.
20-second
Let him
close up of my
finish.
face,
There is
man.
no manifesto, number
Please
Yeah,
let
no
him speak,
problem,
Mr.
man.
Number
I'll do that
two,
for
you
you,
just lost
man,
the
because
left.
I'm the
Number
only
two,
one just
I-
doing this
You
stuff.
just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
How,
that's
folks,
absolutely agreed
folks, do you
to,
have
and
any
under that
idea
plan,
what
you have
this clown's
socialized,
doing?
They call it
Mr.
Medicare.
you
Mr.
have any
President.
do?
Socialized medicine.
Mr.
Well, I
President,
tell you what, he is not for any help for people needing health care because because he in fact already has cost 10 million people their health care
Bernie?
had from their employers.
Did he just
because of
say
his
Bernie?
recession. Number one. Number two,
yeah.
there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do. Take it away.
No, I want to give
Number
them better
three,
health care at a much lower price
but-
because
and by the way,
Obamacare
he doesn't
is
know
no
how.
good.
He doesn't know how
I've
to do
already
that.
fixed it.
Obamacare
He has
sucks the
never
dick
offered
out
it
of
To an
people.
extent.
He has never
Obamacare,
done a
as you
single
might
thing.
know, but probably don't.
Gentlemen, you
Obamacare
realize
is no
if you're
good,
both
Joe.
speaking at the
It's no
same
good,
time,
and it's too expensive.
let the president go ahead, sir.
Obamacare.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
away
up.
the individual mandate.
Ah.
Guarantee pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual mandate. Listen, this is the way it is, and that destroyed. That they shouldn't even call it Obamacare. They had a choice to make. Do I let my people run it really well?
Do that.
Or badly.
Oh,
If I run it badly, they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people. Okay? I said, you got to run it so well.
That's what he's
And I
known for.
just had a meeting with them. They said the problem is no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive.
I got you.
Premiums
I
are
got
too
it.
high, and
That's
it
what his
doesn't work.
peop- that's what
So
his people
we
said.
we do
No,
want to
no,
get
no.
rid of it.
It's
Chris,
an
we
open
want to get rid of it.
I
and
understand
give
it, sir,
something
but I
that's
have
cheaper
to
and
give
better.
you roughly equal time.
Good.
Please let the vice president talk.
Good.
He has no plan for health care. Of
course we do.
Please.
He sends out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have
Wishful
no
thinking.
power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right.
He's
I have
Ask
one-
your
I have one
cropping
final
skills
question
right
for
here.
you,
Just
Mr. Vice President. If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice
What up?
Barrett.
And then
There has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding
I'm gonna,
9
whenever I
justices
edit
there.
this,
You call this
I'm
a
gonna,
distraction by the president,
it's
but in fact
based,
it
I'm just
wasn't brought
gonna
up by
take
the
out the parts
president.
where I
It was
talk
brought up by some of your
little
Democratic colleagues
or
in
not
the
talk
Senate
at
and
all,
Congress.
man.
So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take in that, that'll become
Are
an
you
issue.
gonna
The
end
issue
the
is the American people should
filibuster?
speak.
Are you gonna
should go
end the
out and vote.
filibuster too?
You're in
You
voting
better,
now.
nigga.
Vote and let your
You
senators
better.
know what you feel.
You.
Vote now.
I'm glad I
Make
sent
sure
out a
you, in
fucking
fact,
reminder
let people
on my
know
channel
you're a senator.
2
I'm
hours
not gonna
before
answer
this
the
stuff
question
will
because
go live.
the question is,
I actually gotta see if there's anybody on the chat right now,
Shut
because
up,
there was
man.
one
Who is on your
motherfucker.
list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so
list?
Look at the chat
Gentlemen,
room.
I
We have
ended-
not
no,
gonna
we
give
have
away.
ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive
Uh,
segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
Oh, well, Biden's,
47 years you've done nothing. They understand.
well,
All right.
Biden's
The
tough.
second subject
He's-
is COVID-19. It's an awfully serious subject, so
Oh,
let's try to be serious about
my
it. We have had more than
son
7
died
million
and
cases
my
of
wife
coronavirus
is
in the
old,
United States, and more
but
than
I still
300,000
laugh.
people have died. Even after we
Keep the
produce a
sadness
vaccine, experts
still
say that it
enough.
could be months or even years before we come back to anything approaching normal.
I can't believe that
My
4 years
question
ago
for
I
both
would
of you
give
is, based
less
on
of a
what you have
damn if this was
said
going on.
and done so far, and what you have said you would do starting in
What? I was 12 years
2021,
old. I didn't know any
why should the
better.
American
Oh,
people trust you
oh,
more than
the
your
fuck's-
opponent to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case, the question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Good luck.
Good luck.
200,000 dead.
He
You
just
said
did
over
he tell
7
himself
million
good luck?
infected in the United
Or was
States.
that the
We, in
dude who's just
fact,
like,
have
okay,
5%
everybody's
of the-
actually
4% of
having
the
a
world's
giant
population,
conversation.
20%
Let's
of the deaths.
stop.
40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people. You don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude for being so transparent with us. And what did he do then? He then
what
did
I got
nothing.
this
He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out
Sir,
back
it's
in
his 2
March
minutes.
exactly what
Xi
we should be doing.
Jinping.
And I laid
Xi
out again in July
Jinping.
what we should be doing. We should be
Mao
providing all the
Mao
protective
Zedong.
gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be
Deng
able to go out
Xiaoping.
and get people the help they need
Xi
to keep the businesses
Jinping.
open schools. It cost a lot of money.
It's like a
You should get
face
out of your
of a
bunker and get out of the sand trap
glorious
and get in your golf course and go in
dictator.
the Oval Office and bring together the Democrats and Republicans and fund what needs to be done now to save lives.
So if
Wait,
we would have listened to
You
you,
have 2 minutes, sir.
if we would have listened to you,
Hasn't it been 2
the
minutes
country
already,
would have been
boy?
left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic because you didn't think I should
unrelated
have
to
closed
your
our country.
Wait, no, just,
Wait a
sir,
minute.
It's his 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said, President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of your Democrat governors said, President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The
Yo,
governor said I did a
I haven't
phenomenal
been in
job.
those for
Most
4
of
years.
them said that. In fact, people that would not be necessarily on my side said that.
He just has a
President Trump
smirk
did a
no matter
phenomenal
what.
job. We did.
He's
We
just like,
got the
yeah, I
gowns. We
feel
got
good.
the
I feel
masks.
good
We
right
made
now.
the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only
Are you
thing
sure? I
haven't done
go
a
on
good
Bean
job,
and
and
it
that's
says
because of
that
the
2
fake
million
news.
people
No matter
died.
what you say to them,
They
they give
did.
you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press. They give me bad press because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me
Sorry,
just tell you
I
something. I
had
don't
to
care.
do
I've
that.
gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job
Well, you didn't do
done.
very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. There was no
very-
economic
Let- let-
recession.
Sir, you made a
There was-
far
no,
less
there was no
lethal
recession.
disease,
you made a
by the way.
point. Let him answer.
And there was no one, we didn't shut down the economy. This is his economy he shut down.
Choke him
The
out.
reason it
I'm
shut
watching
down is
TV.
because, look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
You would have lost far
How
more
many
people.
people?
Far
That is-
more people.
And,
You would have been
and by the way,
months late.
your own,
You were
his
months behind me,
his
Joe.
own CDC director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held up. He said, if we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. Just a mask. And by the way, in terms of the whole notion of a vaccine, we're for a vaccine, but
Well,
I don't
if
trust
one
you
of
at
these
all,
dudes
nor do
just
you.
had
I
a
know you
fucking
don't. What we trust is a
umpire, that would be
scientist.
good.
You don't
We trust
trust
Dr.
Johnson &
Fauci.
Johnson, Pfizer.
And
Fucking
by the
little
way-
piece of hair that
Gentlemen,
hangs
let me
down the
move
bottom
on
of the lip.
to questions about the future, because you both have touched on two of the questions I'm going to ask. Focusing on the future first, President Trump, you have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words.
Yeah.
But Dr. Slaoui, the head of your Operation Warp Speed, has said exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the companies, and we can have it a lot sooner. It's a very political thing because people like this would rather make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer. I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to. We have great Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and others. They can go faster than that by a lot. Become very political because the left, or I don't know if I call
So
them
you're
left, I don't know
suggesting
what I
that
call
the
them.
head of your Operation Warp Speed, Dr. Slaoui?
I disagree with him. Yeah, no, I disagree with both of them. And he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available. Just like
He
Dr.
said it's a
Redfield.
possibility that we'll have the answer before November 1st. It could also
I'm
be
talking about
after
when it's
that.
generally available. not when
Well,
it'll
we're
be.
going to deliver it right away. We have the military all set up. Logistically, they're all set up. We have our military that delivers soldiers, and they can do 200,000 a day. They're going to be
This is
delivering.
a
That is
and
not
it's
good.
all
Why
set
is
up.
there a loading
By
thing
Easter,
on my
this would be gone
next to
away.
my
By the
arrow?
warm weather, it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe you could inject some
A
bleach in your arm. That
miracle.
would take care
You
of
hear
it.
that,
This
boys?
is
That
the
was
same
said
man.
It's a
sarcastically.
That was
freaking
him.
miracle.
That was said
8:30
sarcastically.
right now. We
Here's the
got
deal.
about an hour
This
left
man
of
is
this.
talking about a vaccine. Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine. And pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up, though.
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure. and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying you
Everybody
can't, or
knows.
Senator
And
Harris is saying you
no,
can't trust the
No,
scientists.
well, no, you can trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can't trust.
She said the public health
Did say
experts,
that.
quote, will be muzzled, will be
Yes.
suppressed.
Well, that's what he's going to try to do. But there's millions of scientists. There's thousands of scientists out there, like here at this great hospital, that don't work for
Hospital.
him. Their job doesn't depend on him. That's not. They're the people. And by
I
the way,
spoke to the
and Fauci,
scientists that are in
by
charge.
the way,
They will have
and
the vaccine very
does-
soon.
Let him finish.
Do you believe for a moment what he's telling you in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue?
I'm gonna be
relating to
putting up
COVID?
a
He
schedule
still
video
hasn't even
of
acknowledged that
streams
he
that I
knew this
shall
was
be
happening,
doing
knew
if
how
I
dangerous
can.
it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He paid,
I ain't
or he
gonna
just looked at the
show
stock
you
market.
the
One of the
video
two,
of it.
because
I
guess
think
what?
I'll probably
A
just
lot of
edit
people
it in.
died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So-
Mr. President?
Whenever I get done
You
with
used the
it.
word smart. So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you
man.
know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
Well, let's have this debate.
And if
We'll
you
see
would have
who's
had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
see,
and
he's
it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
okay.
It's going up fast. I look
Okay.
forward to talking
When
about
it comes to how the virus has been handled so far, the two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is going to affect how the virus is handled going forward by whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't
I
have
wanna
a
say
plan.
go and
If
pause
I
this
were
real
running,
quick.
I'd
Holy
know
shit.
what the plan is. Will he just shush for a minute?
Tell it to
The-
Nancy
the-
Pelosi and Schumer,
by the
crying
way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with him in the
Okay.
Senate.
Let
And
me-
he
That's
sits,
their
he sits on his
bullshit.
golf course. And, well, I mean,
Nah.
literally,
Okay.
think about it.
You probably
All right,
play
think
more than
about
I
it.
do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact
Well,
I'm
he
gonna
wants
have a
to
hard
shut down
time
this
trying to
country.
keep up with this
And
stuff.
I want to keep it open. And we
You
did a
ju- he
great thing
just
by
admitted
shutting
he
it
shut
down.
it down.
Wait a minute,
Let
Joe.
him
Let me
finish.
shut you down for a second, Joe, just for 1 second. He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned a lot. But he wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors all. One of the reasons they're shut down is because they want to keep it shut down until after the election
All right,
on
I
November
want to
3rd.
move on to another
Because
subject.
it's a
I want to move
political
on to
thing.
another
I've
subject.
gotta
Which
respond
one?
to that.
I
But
want to
those
move,
states,
gentlemen, I
those
want to move
states
on to
are
I wanna
not
move.
doing
I wanna
well.
move. I
They're
wanna
shut
move. I
down.
wanna
They're
move.
shut
Bitch,
down.
go ahead and move.
Wants to
President
shut
Trump,
down the
you
whole
have
country.
begun to increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer.
I just
And
realized
in
my
fact, recently
webcam's
you have
on.
cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning
No, I think
the
masks
efficacy
are
of
okay.
Oh, I
But
did another
understand, if you look,
drifting
I mean, I
thing.
have
You
a
wanna
mask
do?
right here. I put a mask on it when I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to. But I
Just
wear
like your
masks
rally.
when needed. When needed, I wear masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say
Vice
this.
President Biden, go ahead, sir.
Look,
Vice
the way
President
to
by
open
by
businesses
by
is give them the wherewithal to be able to open. We provided money. The
He
was
is
asking you
going
about
to
masks.
suck my
Masks
nipples off.
make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks and social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also
It
said the
matters.
opposite. They've
And
also said
no serious person said the opposite.
They've
No
Do you
also-
question the
serious
benefits
I wanna
of
ask
Dr.
you-
using
Fauci,
masks?
Dr. Fauci said the
He
opposite.
did not
I
say
want to
the
ask you, we
opposite.
got a
Said
little
very
bit more than a
strongly,
minute left in this
masks
segment.
are not good. Then he changed his mind. He said masks are good.
I
I'm
wanna
okay
ask-
with masks.
I
I'm
want to
not
ask you
fighting
both
masks.
about one last subject because your different approaches has even affected the way that you have campaigned. President Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds packed together, thousands of people.
Outside.
Outside, yes, sir, agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with
Because nobody will show up.
people with.
Well, it's true. Nobody shows up to his rallies.
All right. In any case, why you holding the big rallies? Why you not? You goes first, sir.
Because people want to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But are you
I've
not
done a
worried
great
about it
job
spreading
as a
disease?
president, and I'll have 35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
Are you
and
not worried
hangars, and
about
we
the
have a
disease
lot of
issue,
people.
sir?
Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts. And we do them outside. We have tremendous crowds, as you see. I mean, and literally on 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles
Oh,
and has 3
no.
people someplace.
Okay.
By the
My
way,
mouse,
did
the
you
arrow
one of the last
is
big
got
rallies he had,
is
a reporter came
infected.
up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand
Oh.
back. Put on your mask. Put on a mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. That's what he said. I can't. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing in one another.
We've had no
or
negative
cheek to
effect.
jowl. No negative effect.
We've
Come
had
on.
no negative effect, and we've had 35, 40,000
All right. Do you
people
wanna
at these rallies.
Just
Yes.
quickly finish up because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the social distancing and people wearing masks, basically encouraged them not to.
All right.
He's a fool on this.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen,
Joe.
can we move on
Nobody
to the
cares.
gentlemen? Can we move on to the economy?
Yes.
The economy is, I think it's fair to say, recovering faster than expected from the shutdown.
Much faster.
In the second quarter, the unemployment rate
Yo,
fell to
big
8.4%
poopy
last
titty.
month. The Federal Reserve says
It's
the
nothing
hit
but
to
black. Put a
growth,
green
which is
screen in
going to
there
be
and just
there,
put
is
the
not going to be
freaking
nearly as
filthy
big as
Frank.
they had expected.
Any kind of
President Trump, you say
video,
we are
human
in a
cake,
V-shaped
really. That was some
recovery.
disgusting shit I
Vice
watched when I was
President
small.
Biden, you say
Damn,
it's more of a K-shape.
damn.
What difference
But it'll only
does
be
that
1 year from
mean
now
to
whenever
the
he
American
just
people in terms of the economy?
quit.
President Trump, in this segment, you go first.
We
iDubbbz
built
is
the
a
greatest
simp.
economy in history. We
A
closed it down
confirmed
because of the China
simp.
plague. When the plague came in, we closed it
Max
down, which was
Mofo
very
literally be
hard
doing Pokemon
psychologically
and
to
How
do.
to
He didn't think we
Basic
should
is
close
doing
it
the
down, and
same
he was
thing.
wrong. And again,
And that
2
other
million
big
people would be
freaking
dead now.
Aussie
Instead of
just
still 204,000 people is too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened from China. But what happened is we closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down he will shut it down again. He will destroy this country. You know, a lot of people, between drugs and alcohol and depression, when you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening at some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week. You saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people. People know what to do. They can social distance. They can wash their hands. They can wear masks. They can do whatever they want. But they got to open these states up. When you look at North Carolina, when you look, and these governors are under siege, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and a couple of others, you got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce, look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy will close down the whole country and destroy our country. Our country is coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does it. We don't need somebody to come in and say, let's shut it down.
All right. Your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you.
Or now move
said,
to you.
posing
Shit,
the
I
question,
paused.
the president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis have done very well. Billionaires have made another $300 billion because of his profligate tax.
Mr. Kane, I'm
and
paying
focus
for
on the
this
market. But you
microphone.
folks at home, You folks living in Scranton and Claymont and all the small towns and working
I
class
live
towns
in
America.
Cicero,
How
sir.
are you doing?
I don't live
This guy
in
paid a total of
Scranton.
$750 in
wrong.
taxes.
Many
Sir,
millions.
wait,
How
wait,
many-
no, sir, it's
It's
his
the
two.
wrong
No,
state.
I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it.
Do I get my time back? The fact is that he has, in fact, worked on this in a way that he's going to be the first president of the United States to leave office having fewer jobs in his administration than when he became president. Fewer jobs than when he became president.
President
First one in
Obama
American history.
will
Second,
probably
the
leave.
people who have lost
Will
their
probably
jobs
leave
are
as
those
being
people
the
who have been on
worst
the front
president
lines. Those people
in
who have
American
been
history.
saving our lives. Those
At
people who have been
real
out there
Donald
dying.
Trump.
People who've been putting
Well,
themselves in the way to
now,
make sure
at real
that we
Donald
could
Trump,
all try to make it.
at
And
least
the
I
idea that he
I
is
will go
insisting
down
that
as
we go
president.
forward and open when you have almost half the
But could
states in
he go
America with a
down
significant
with
increase in COVID deaths and COVID cases in the United States of America. And he
Well,
wants to open it up more. Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of the American? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis. And he has no intention of doing anything about making it better for you all at home in terms of your health and your safety. Schools, why aren't schools open? Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely. You know, they were going to give, his administration was going to give the teachers and school students masks. And then they decided, no, couldn't do that because it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone. He ought to get on the job and take care of the needs of the American people so we can open safely.
All right, your time is up, sir. We are going to get to.
I have to respond to that.
Well, you both had 2 minutes, sir.
Excuse me, he made a statement.
So did you.
People want their schools, no, people want their schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want their state shut down. They want their restaurants. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town. And I'm not sure it can ever recover what they've done in New York. People want their places open. They want to get back to their lives.
People
They'll
want
be
to be
careful,
safe.
but they want their schools open.
People want
I'm
to
the
be
one that
safe.
brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. And
All right,
people of
let's-
Ohio are very proud of me. And you know
We're
how
going
I
to get
found
back.
out? When he took
Gentlemen,
a phony
we're going to
ad.
get to your economic plans going forward in a moment. But first, Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, and 2017, your first year as president, that you paid $750 a year in federal income
oh
tax
shit.
each of those years. I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income tax. And let me just tell you, there was a story in one of the papers.
Show us your tax
I paid
returns.
$38 million one year. I paid $27 million
Show us your tax
one year.
returns.
I went, you'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. You know, if you want to do, go to the Board of Elections. There's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under-leveraged because the assets are extremely good. And we have a very, I built a
Sir,
great
I'm asking
company.
you a specific question, which
But
is.
let me tell you-
I understand all of that.
Release your
I
tax
understand all of that.
return. But let me-
No, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750.
Millions of dollars, and you'll get to see it. And you'll get to
When?
see it. But let
In
me just
Shala?
tell you, Chris, let me just tell you something, that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is. He passed a tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We build a building and we get tax credits, like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now, the man got fired right after that happened. But
Vice President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do want to respond. Look, the tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher on the money a school teacher makes, is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts. and make sure that we invest in the people who, in
Boom.
fact, need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you
Ask
do it
them-
over
No,
the
no,
last
no,
25
wait,
years?
let's-
Because
I
you
wanna-
weren't
Why didn't you
president.
do it over
Because
the
you
last
weren't
25
president
years? No,
screwing
no,
things
no, no.
up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe. We've done things that you never even thought of doing,
Okay,
including
gentlemen.
fixing the broken military that you gave me, including
let's-
taking care of
we're
your
talking,
vets.
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward because, Mr. Vice President, your economic plan, if you were to be
Yes,
elected
ma'am.
president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 trillion over a decade in new taxes on individuals making more than $400,000 a year and on corporations. President Trump says that that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of a recession.
Well, just take a look at what is the analysis done by Wall
Fingers.
Street firms. Points out that my economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years. Number
I
one.
am going to
And number
bomb.
two, it would create an additional
There's
$1 trillion
some-
in economic growth because it would be about buying American. That we have to, we're going to make this federal government spend $600 billion a year on everything from ships to steel to buildings and the like. And under my proposal, we're
Burger
going to make sure that every penny of that has to be made by a company.
But
in
respectfully,
America.
sir, I'm talking about taxes, not
hum,
spending.
By the way, I'm going to eliminate
Smells
significant
like
numbers of
black.
tax. I'm going to make the corporate tax 28%. It shouldn't be 21%. You have 91 companies, in the Fortune 500 who don't pay a single penny in tax, making billions of dollars.
Why didn't you do it
Billions
before
of
when
dollars.
you were vice president with Obama?
Because you, in fact, passed that. That was
That's right.
your
I got
tax
it-
proposal.
I got it done. And you know what happened?
you got it done.
Our economy boomed
And,
like it's never
and
boomed
the
before.
economy is
Mr.
busted.
President,
Let me
wait,
finish.
Mr. President, let me pick up on that. You would continue your free market approach, lower taxes, more deregulation.
I'm supposed to
correct?
be
Not lower tax
political
for
and
American
stuff,
people.
but I'm just
But
saying,
let me,
man.
but in Obama's, you talk
done.
about the economy booming. It turns out that in Obama's final 3 years as president, more jobs were created, 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery economic recovery since 1929. It was the slowest recovery. Also, they took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a lot. But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, that means jobs. It also means 401ks. If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave, and plenty
Half
of
of the
companies that are
companies-
already here, they'll leave for
hardly any
other
companies
places.
have
They will
poured in
leave,
here.
and you will have a
Have it-
depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
Look,
Mr.
we
Vice President.
inherited the worst recession short of a depression in American history. I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
It wasn't
he
booming.
Blew it. He blew it.
It wasn't booming. It was the weakest recovery
Well, sir, is it
since
fair to,
1929.
is it fair to say he blew it when, in
When
fact,
COVID came in.
when there was record low unemployment
Yeah.
before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went in the hole. Manufacturing went in the hole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris,
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you're on number two.
No.
Chris, they said it would
This
take a
guy,
miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing.
We
Part
did
of
not
my
agree.
standard fare.
I'm the guy that
He
brought
totally
back
gave
the
up on
automobile
manufacturing.
industry.
All right, let him.
We brought back, I was asked to bring back Chrysler and General Motors. We brought them back right here in the state of Ohio and Michigan. He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're going.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies
No,
came in from Germany, from Japan, went to Michigan, went to Ohio.
They're not having
And they didn't come in with you.
Mr. Vice President, go ahead.
And so, you
Mr.
take a
Vice
look at what he's
President,
actually
calm
done.
down.
He's done very little. His trade deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before. We have the highest trade deficit
China
with
ate
Mexico.
your lunch down
All right,
to
gentlemen,
18%. China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars, to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also,
Simply
while
not
we're at it,
true.
why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million?
is
What
not
did he do
true.
to deserve it?
That
What
is
did he do with Burisma
none
to
of
deserve
that-
$183,000?
None
You've
of
asked your
that is
question,
true.
let him answer.
None of that is true.
Oh,
It's
really?
been
He didn't
totally
get
No,
$3.5 million?
Mr. President,
It's
Mr.
totally-
President, please. You've asked
totally
a question.
discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way,
Well, wait,
let's
he didn't
talk-
get
No, no.
$3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice,
He got
Mr.
$3.5 million.
President,
It is not true.
Oh, really?
Mr.
Oh.
President,
But, Mr.
it's an open discussion, please.
Now,
It's a fact.
Well,
It
you
is
have
not a
raised an
fact.
issue. Let the
It's been
Vice
totally
President answer.
discredited.
Did
There was a
Burisma pay him
report.
$183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr.
Look,
President,
no
Supposed to
Son
get
did
this
nothing
seated,
wrong
man.
with
All right,
Burisma.
I think
it's
he did.
normal.
Mr.
It's
President,
normal.
Guy that
let
did
him
something-
answer.
I would be a.
He didn't want to answer because he knows I
This
have the
would be
truth.
more
His
entertaining if
position
Joe
has been
Rogan
totally,
actually
thoroughly discredited.
who?
and
held
The
it.
media.
By everybody. Well, by the
By the
media,
media,
by our
because they refuse to
allies, by
talk
the
about it
World
because they're
Bank,
embarrassed.
by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even
Mr.
the people
President,
who
please stop.
testified under oath.
So let me
under
ask you
oath,
this,
every-
Joe.
under
No, no,
oath.
go ahead, Mr. I'm
Every-
listening to
even the
you.
people under.
He got $3.5
he
million from
testified-
Moscow.
He testified under oath in his administration, said, I did my job and I did it very well.
Oh,
I
really?
did it
I'd like to
honorably.
know who they are.
Well, I'll give you the list
I'll
of the
fire
people who
them.
testified.
No, no, go ahead, sir.
Sure, you've already fired most of them because they did a
Some
good
because
job.
some people don't do
well,
a good
here's
job. With you,
Go
they
ahead.
say
You
that-
get
here's
the,
the
wait a
deal.
minute. You get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this.
Hey,
this
let me just
person.
say, Joe.
No. I'm Mr. President.
$3.5
Mr.
million,
President.
Joe.
That is simply
Why did
not
he
true.
deserve $3.5 million
It
from
did-
Moscow?
Look, here's the deal. We want to talk about families and ethics. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family we could talk about all night. His family's
My
already.
family,
No, let him go.
my
Let-
family
already
lost
wrote.
a fortune by
Go
coming down
ahead.
and helping
Go
us
ahead.
with
Go ahead,
government.
sir.
And that's such a.
they're right
that's
here.
Mr.
That's
President.
such
Every
a great.
single one of them lost
This
a
is not
fortune
about
by
President.
my
coming and
family or
helping
his
us with
family. It's
government.
about your family,
They
the
didn't
American
collect
people.
$3.5 million
He
for
doesn't.
nothing.
That's not true. It doesn't want to talk
Hmm.
about what you need. You, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about
you
here.
should
All right,
Take
that's
Not
the end
about
of the,
here.
that's the end of the
Shouldn't have
segment.
taken the money.
We're moving on.
He didn't take them.
Well,
Vice
it's a very-
President,
but Chris,
no,
can I be honest? It's a very important
Try to be
question.
honest.
No,
That's a
He
good
stood
thing.
up.
No,
he stood up
the answer to
and
the
he
question is no.
threatened Ukraine
No, sir.
with $1 billion
Sir,
if you don't
That
get rid of
is
the Trump.
absolutely not
I
true.
like-
Tape's doing it.
You're going to
It's on
have
tape.
True.
Gentlemen,
Is-
I hate to raise
Chris,
my voice,
he's
but
on
it seems
tape.
to be, why should I be different than the two of you? So here's the
Got a
deal.
good point.
We have 6 segments. We have ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President, you can say anything you want. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead. But I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more
Well,
interrupting
that's
than
all
he
right,
has.
but he does plenty.
Well, less than, sir, less
does
than,
plenty.
no, less than you have. Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for Black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America. But we've never accomplished it. But we've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the race is when those people, close your eyes, remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president's ever said anything like that.
It is who's
Now,
who minutes, sir.
second point I'd make to you is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is a savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
So,
President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with
he
racism?
did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, the super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir. It's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that because you look back at your testimony over the years, you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals, total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day, and they put up their hands, and we got
I'm
back
going to
Seattle.
stop this. I've
Minneapolis,
just been watching
we got
TV.
it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't. The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are
Think
run
I'm
by
going to put a stop
Democrats
to
and
this
in many
right
cases,
here.
radical left, and they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe, to
Good
a point where you don't
goodbye.
want to say anything about law